You're listening to TG1F, an F1 podcast with Kate and Nicole.
We're your hosts. I'm Kate.
And I'm Nicole.
And this is our show, where we talk about all things Formula One.
And a lot of things that are not Formula One, too.
Because why the heck not?
This is your formal invitation to a weekly hangout with your F1 BFFs, where we'll talk on-track action, off-track gossip, and throw in some hot pop culture topics.
It doesn't matter if you're a seasoned F1 fan, a curious newbie, or literally just think the drivers are hot. Because they are. There's a little something in this podcast for everyone.
Speaking of which, did you hear what happened this week?
No, tell me about it.
It's so funny, recording like this, because the sizes of each other are so different.
I know.
I feel like I need to sit back on my bed.
Sit on your bed. That's when our best work happens, dude.
I feel like I need to, be in the back. You're so tiny.
Our best work happens when we're in bed, so.
That's so true.
So do it. Who cares?
Who cares? Not us.
Not us. Couldn't be us. Couldn't care less about almost anything.
I will tell you what, though. I'm in a good mood today.
Me too, because we're doing this.
I know. I don't know if it's because it's been forever. I feel like I haven't talked to you in ages. Could be my new supplements. Could be the fact that it's not 9,000 degrees.
Could be all of the above, I think.
You know, it's really. I got my Rick Allen shirt.
Oh my, she's got it going on.
The only gripe with this is that the sleeves.
Why are they so long?
Are literally, it's like a 3/4 sleeve shirt.
Yeah, what's going on?
I will be going to the school of Riley and chopping them off and making them shorter.
I mean, yeah, as you should. That's
because
ridiculous, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm like, Danny, mostly women are buying this shirt. No offense.
Literally.
Make it a little bit shorter on the sleeve,
and
okay?
even the men that are buying it surely don't want sleeves that long. No. Harry Styles does not want his shirt to be that long.
No.
So
it's the season of cunty little shirts.
Yeah.
So
get with the program.
Make the sleeve shorter. But yeah, I'm very excited to chat today. It's been fucking forever.
It's been forever since we've done this podcast, but it's also been forever since we've caught up.
I know. I have no idea what's going on in your life.
Literally, when was the last time I saw your face? Not on Snapchat.
4th of July?
No.
I guess we recorded.
We recorded later.
Yeah.
Probably
end of July.
Early June? End July?
Probably 2 months ago? No,
girl. Please.
6 weeks.
I hate that.
6 weeks.
I hate that with a strong passion.
So
we have a lot to catch up on. So for everyone listening right now, this is a big day of just catching up. We haven't caught up with you guys. You haven't caught up with us. We haven't caught up with each other. So today's episode, the theme is yapping.
Let's play catch up, because I've also been a bad F1 fan, and I actually haven't watched either of the last 2 races.
Cool.
I've been busy, so I'm I don't even know. I know nothing about Franco. Is that his name?
Yeah, I don't actually know anything about him.
I know nothing about him, so I figured we could spend some time today getting to know him a little bit, familiarizing ourselves.
Did you
with
do
him
research
for the
on
last? No, we're gonna do it on the fly.
Okay, that's why I was like, I hope we're just doing this on the fly, because I didn't.
We're doing it on the fly. We said no list, just vibes for the rest of the season.
Yeah. I mean, I have. Well, also, first of all, do you know? Are you aware of the fact that Adrian Newey is officially at Aston Martin? He announced that today.
Yes, he did.
Okay, because you keep posting stuff where I'm like, does she still think he's going to Ferrari?
No,
I actually you posted
because of the meme I just posted.
Yeah, the meme you posted, and also earlier, you posted something where it was rumors that he was going to Aston Martin, but you didn't follow up with the confirmed post.
Sorry.
So I put one up of yes, him with Lance Stroll, and I was and then you posted the meme of like people saying
Yeah,
Rep
but
TV's coming, and I was just like, does she
yeah, but
know?
it's both clowning. Like it's both like,
I
no,
know,
you're
but I
wrong.
was
Like
like,
it's like we were like, oh, he's going to Ferrari. Like we talked a big talk for so many months about saying that he was going to go to
yeah,
Ferrari, and then he did it. And I also regularly say, Reputation Taylor's version is coming. Still to be seen. Still to be
like
seen.
I was just
I'm
dying. I was like, I have to make sure that she actually knows that like he is not. And he did, like, it was confirmed. I just had no idea. And I was like, I know she's been really busy. She was in Chicago this weekend. Like, I know neither of us have been, like, really keeping up with the F1 news. But I was like, I need to make sure that, like, as someone who does this semi-professionally, that you did know
No,
the
I did.
latest
I did.
update.
I did. I did. I just was like, this. It came to. I literally made that meme on the walk from the train to my apartment 5 minutes ago. So,
Oh, I was dying. I was dying. Okay,
yes,
well, good. I'm
I
glad you
am.
know.
I am familiar with the comings and goings of what's going on in the F1 space.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, I am barely aware. So it
I
was not judgment on my part to you. It was just like, this was like the first piece of information I feel like I've been caught up on that I was like, I just wanted to make sure you knew. Like, I wasn't judging you for not knowing because I feel like I am not caught up on literally any of the F1 news. We said we're taking a break for Romance Month, and my brain
checked
has
out.
checked out. I'm on a break. We were
Speaking
on a
of,
break.
I dead ass thought that I saw Charles Leclerc today. I was leaving work and there was like this grand opening of this Italian furniture store on the corner. And from across the street, I saw a man who looked exactly like him. The brothers who run the furniture store are from Modena. I was like, it's not that far out of the
No.
question. I didn't circle back,
Was
but
it
I'm
him?
like, I will need to be checking Instagram
I'm checking
stories
right now.
to see because I was like, it's also not unrealistic. It's only Tuesday.
Well, Lewis is here.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm like, it's like he could be here on his way to Singapore. Who's to say? But I was like, that would be kind of fucking crazy. It did not circle back.
Sorry. I
What?
haven't stalked Charles in so
Oh,
long. Number one, he has a new profile picture on Instagram and he looks
okay.
so handsome. He's wearing like a rugby shirt.
Oh,
So
I see it. Yeah.
you know. And this first video, so sorry, he's making pizza and he's wearing like this like crocheted button down. He looks so good. I haven't felt like giddy like this about him in a while. I'm gonna look at him. This crocheted shirt. It's so unbuttoned. Oh my god.
All right. They have
Press
not
it on with
posted.
the fingers. Please. Please, please, please.
I'd be positive that they would have posted him in their stories if he was
Yeah.
there. And they have not. But I was like, maybe for his safety. So I'll circle back on
It'll be a
that. But
later gram for sure, I think. If he
but
was there,
like
it's gonna be a later gram.
would be crazy. I was like, and I have bad vision, so it could have really been anyone, but like I was like, that man fits the bill.
Could have been anyone.
Could have been anyone, but in my mind, Charles Leclerc. And you know what? Because recently, well, not recently, but like in the spring before Miami, Lewis was also right there. So it's like
Right.
kind of a hot spot. So
It is a hot spot.
it's on a ley line or something. It's,
Bro, he looks so good in this video and in this photo. I'm weak in the knees. I'm like I feel like I'm flushed. I haven't felt like this in a while. Anyways,
she's
whoa.
hot and bothered.
I am. The Bang Olufsen, I don't know if that's how you say it. Photos too. He looks so good. He's back.
He's back, baby.
Boy, it's not that complicated. You should stay in my good
That's
graces.
my number one
That's
song from
is
Sweet.
it?
Short and sweet right now. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, we should talk about that because I don't think we talked about short and sweet, but I actually physically can't stop listening to it. Like
It's number one banger for me.
repeat. On like I literally just have the album on repeat. Nick and I drove to the Cape 3 times in a row. I was like, honestly, I love that it's a short album because I get to just keep. Sometimes when albums are too long,
Yeah.
I get like 3/4 of the way done and I'm like, I already want to restart it, but like I
Mm-hmm.
still have songs to go. Like I want it to be because I'm ready to
Tortured Poets
I'm
Department with her
ready to go
25
again. Yeah, I'm
songs.
like, I'm
Yeah.
ready to go again. So the fact that this album is like 36 minutes,
6 minutes. Yeah.
ideal.
It's
Perfect length.
short and sweet, some
Short
could
and sweet
say.
is she was not lying. And it is just so fucking good. Every song,
It's
banger.
phenomenal.
Every single song.
That and Taste have really been my little earworms
Oh,
as of
Taste is
late.
really good. I love Coincidence. I
Mm.
love it. I don't know what it's like a little freaking earworm for me. Like I fall asleep at night and I just have it like what a coincidence. Na, 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 na. Like it's just on a loop in my head and I just like go to sleep with a little jazzy smile on my face. Like I here's what I need. And I said this in our big giant group chat the day this album came out, or maybe a couple days after, not one single person reacted to it. And I said, you guys are so fake. And I shan't be repeating myself because I know this was a good thought. You don't deserve to hear it again, but I'll say it here on this podcast because there's people listening who aren't in that group chat. And I love Coincidence. Here's the thing is I need Harry Styles to cover Coincidence
Mm.
so badly because it reminds me of Canyon Moon.
Yes.
Like
No, I remember seeing that. Sorry, I didn't
it's
reply to it.
okay.
I remember
Nobody
seeing it.
did. I really thought Carly and Maggie were my like shoe-ins for people to be like, yeah, but like not one person said anything, and I said I'll go fucking kill myself, I guess.
Anyway, that's
But
fine.
I need it. It reminds me of Canyon Moon. It's so hairy, and I just would like love to hear him sing that song.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a great take.
I really like Coincidence, and I like Bedchem, obviously, so good.
My hot take is that I don't like Bedchem.
What?
I it just rubs me the wrong way. I just don't like it.
What about it rubs you the
I
wrong
don't
way?
know. It's just the way that she's like talk singing that I like it's a
Mm.
skip for me. I skip it every time.
Oh my god, I
Yeah.
am obsessed with her little like what is it, little bridge moment when she's like, "Where art thou? Why not uponeth me?"
Yeah,
Like
I hate
I'm
that. I
obsessed.
hate it. That's my least
Oh
favorite
my
part.
god,
So I
I
just like
love it. Every
don't
time it comes on, I mean,
camaraderie. I mean,
come right on me. I mean,
come
camaraderie.
yeah, whatever. I'm like, I hate it. I hate it. I hate it.
I mean, I'm a Shakespeare girly, so like
I just feel like
give me
she's
some
trying
old English and I'm in.
I feel like she's trying to replicate the nonsense outro. And this is
Mm.
like the new version for
I
her
mean, she
to
loves
kind
to be
of
a little
like
horny.
well, it's also like an opportunity for her to kind of like improv and freestyle at
Yeah.
different shows. And so I feel like that's what that is.
Yeah.
Um,
Which honestly, smart.
so hey, you know what? I'm glad people like it. It's just that one's just not really for
Oh
me.
my god, I'm like kind of like blown away by that because me and Nick scream sing it in the car, like love it. It is so good. It's so good, and I bet we both arrive at the same time. Like it's clever, it's fun. I love it.
Yeah. I mean, overall, banger of an
Yeah,
album.
well, let
Don't
me
get me
actually
wrong,
go back because I
please.
feel like there's more that I want to talk about from that album. I've just been
She's got
bloop, bloop,
thoughts.
bloop, just on repeat. Okay. Please, 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 or Taste, phenomenal. So good. A plus. I'm just gonna
Hmm.
go through the album because it's short and sweet. Please, please, please. Good song. I'm over it at this point.
Yeah, same.
Good Graces,
Which,
love.
to be fair, I cannot even believe that Please 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 got nominated for Song of the Summer for the VMAs over Espresso because I think Espresso was the Song of the Summer over Please Please
Okay,
Please.
I wonder if they have like date ranges. Like it needed to come out like around like more
Espresso
summertime.
came out after Memorial Day.
No, it did not.
Yes, it did.
Why did I feel like it came out in like February?
No.
What? I don't think that's true.
Let's see. Okay, it came out in April.
So I'm wondering if like a song of the summer needs to come out like May through August or something. I don't know, but I agree. If there's no date range, then I agree.
Okay, this song can be released earlier in the year, unlike summer blockbuster movies. Song of the Summer is often the song that ranks at the top of the Hot 100 for the longest period of time between June and September.
June and September. So I think that probably.
But I guess this isn't for the VMAs, but this was just based on.
Well, I think that probably Please, Please, Please came out later, and so it probably got like a spike in numbers.
I just am like, Espresso
but
was
also
the catchier of the two singles and way more summer-oriented than Please, Please, Please.
No, I agree.
No offense.
No, I agree. Please, Please, Please is just going to get its moment in the sun because Barry's in the video. Like, that's what they're really going to lean in on.
Yeah.
So, okay, Good Graces, already sang it. Love it.
So, you're gonna sing all the you're gonna sing all of them?
No, I just meant like obviously I love it because I sang it on the podcast today. Sharpest Tool is
I also like that one.
So good.
Yeah. She ate Shawn Mendes.
She ate him up.
She ate his ass up. That man's
dead.
Yeah.
Where's he been? No one's seen him because he's dead. Like, what is the saying? The pen is mightier than the sword.
Yeah.
True. Fucking true. Shawn Mendes has been slaughtered. Coincidence, obviously. Coincidence. Na, 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 na. Like, love it. Bedchem, disgust. Espresso, disgust.
Another song where she ate Shawn Mendes up.
Dumb and Poetic.
Dumb and Poetic.
Dumb and Poetic. I was like, like I gasped. I was
Out
like,
for blood.
Really came at him for that one.
Out for blood.
Slim Pickens.
So good.
So good. Juno is the only one that I sometimes am like, meh. I don't know.
I like the chorus.
I do. I think it's cute. I think it's fun. It just doesn't really like grab me.
Yeah, the thing is I don't care for the subject matter, but I think the way that she sings it is catchy.
Yeah. I also am like, I just feel like Juno wasn't like a happy-go-lucky movie.
I know.
So I'm like, I don't really understand like the vibes of like.
I know. It's not great. Like, we couldn't think of anyone else pregnant, I guess. I don't know.
Like Knocked Up is kind of funnier. I was just like, Juno's where we're going with this? Got it.
Sure.
I literally had to look it up. I had to like look up the meaning, but I was like, am I like, is there like some like Gen X or Gen Z slang that like Juno is like a slang term that I'm not familiar with? Or like, are we literally talking about like the movie? And I mean, it was the movie. And I was just like, not what I was expecting. Lie to Girls.
Lie to Girls really reminds me of Like the Boy. It feels very reminiscent of that song from her, which I liked. Yeah. I like the tie-in.
Yeah. And Don't Smile. I like Don't Smile, but it's kind of forgettable to me.
It is forgettable. I don't even remember what it sounds like.
Like, I only remember Don't Smile because it's over, baby.
No,
or Don't Smile because it happened.
Because it happened. Cry because it's over.
But like, I don't. Yeah. And I remember the tune of that, but I don't remember anything else.
Actually, yeah. Now that you mention it, I can hear it in my head.
Yeah. So okay, well that was fun. Short and sweet. Great.
Short and sweet. Okay, we can end our podcast there. Short and sweet as well.
Sweet. No, I'm just kidding. It's actually a podcast where we just review players. By the way. No, I love that album. It's been
on repeat. Just constantly.
Obsessed.
I just finished a book.
Tell me about it.
Well, let me get it.
You know, I've been reading 97.
Okay, we also haven't discussed on the podcast Spark of the Everflame since you read it and
I recommended it.
But
oh my God.
Before we get there,
before we get there, tell me about this one because that's going to take a while.
So I read this book, Werewolf's Guide to Seducing a Vampire.
Okay, tell me everything.
And I picked it up at the bookstore, and the guy at the counter was like, great choice. I'm reading that one too. And I was like, you're fucking with me. I know you're fucking with me. Ha, ha, ha. And he's like, no, I'm actually reading it. I'm reading it. He's like, no, I'm like halfway through it. And I was like, okay. And he's like, don't ask for too much, but it's a fun time. And I said, okay.
Just keep your expectations.
To be fair, if I'm picking up a book with this title, I'm not expecting too much, But this book was below my expectations. This book fucking sucked. I cannot recommend this to anyone on the podcast who listens to the podcast, but A Werewolf's Guide to Seducing a Vampire, Sarah Hawley. This is number 3 in her Glimmer Fall series, which everyone,
But is it
including
a
Carly,
standalone?
yes.
Okay.
So like the main character is the guy, and he is part of the friend group that's like in the other books, but like you can read it without knowing any of the other ones. I haven't read them.
Okay.
And Carly said the first book that she read was really good. She really enjoyed it.
Okay.
Now, my biggest gripe with this is that,
Money.
well, there's many, but the biggest one I would like to address here on the podcast today. It takes place in modern times, but they have magical creatures who just live in society with us, okay?
Yep.
And all of the social media websites are renamed to be kind of magical and mystical. We've got Pixtagram, we've got Wikipedia, we've got GhoulTube, and then she mentions LinkedIn. It's LinkedIn! We couldn't think of anything for LinkedIn, but also why are we bringing up LinkedIn in this book? I just was like, literally, I'm so done.
I like kind of knew where that was going. I was like, okay, there's going to be like a social media site that's not renamed. LinkedIn was not even on my list of things in my brain that I thought maybe like Pinterest, Snapchat, Facebook.
LinkedIn. And then another thing that really rubbed me the wrong way was that she uses the anatomical terms for the sex scenes.
No.
And it is horrible. It's horrible and so unforgiving.
Here's the thing. This is gonna get into a little bit of an NSFW. So if you're a parent that one of us knows, please stop listening
with young
fast
children.
Forward a little bit, or like, I don't know, mom, don't listen to this. I don't know. Dad, if you decide to listen to an episode, just like skip for the next like 2 minutes. Like, I don't want you to hear any of this. Like, this is how I feel about sexy scenes in books. I do not want the anatomical words. I do not want you to call it a vagina. Please. I just don't. I do not want to hear you call it a penis.
Like, it's actually worse than that. It's labia. It's labia.
I don't want to hear that. But it needs to walk a fine line, because I also do not want to hear some absolutely insane made up term that you've decided is going to be what this is called. When Sarah J. Maas constantly says velvet wrapped steel, I like throw up in my mouth. It is like a visceral reaction that I want to die.
It's truly something.
I need it right in the middle. I need something that's like not anatomically correct, but not so off base that it makes me want to die.
I don't write reviews of books often on Goodreads. I don't, because it's truly just like not worth my time. I had to write a review about this. I had to steer people away. I was like, in good faith, I cannot recommend this book to you. I did finish it, unfortunately, because I didn't bring my Kindle home with me, and I just really needed something to read, and I just had to see it through.
Winners never quit.
Winners never quit.
Winners never win.
It is the most unsatisfying ending. It's horrible.
Okay, so 0 out of 10 on that
0 out of 10. So sorry if you're coming here for book recommendations still. This is not it. However, the book that we do want to recommend, Circling Back,
we got to talk about the Everflame series. Like
Kindred's Curse, baby.
The Kindred's
series.
Curse. Feral.
I recommended this book to Kate probably, and I think I recommended on the pod mid-June.
Mm-hmm.
I think early July.
Yeah.
The first book in the series is called Spark of the Everflame. Then we've got Grow. What is it?
Heat of the Everflame, and then Burnt. No, there's something.
Spark of the Everflame, Glow of the Everflame, Heat of the Everflame, and then the fourth book that is coming out, who knows when, Burn of the Everflame.
Yeah. So you had recommended it to me, and I wanted to read it, but it was at my like busy time at work, and I was just like, I'm not reading books right now, and so I wanted to read it.
When you went to Florida.
Yeah. So end of July, I went to Florida. and I read Quicksilver first because Carly recommended that, and I was like, that's a quick and easy one because it's
One
one
off.
book, which also, by the way, really good. I really like that.
I started it. I haven't finished
Yeah,
it.
it's good.
I'm like 2 chapters in.
It starts a little bit slow,
Yeah.
but it was really good. It really hooked me in. It was a great beach read, great like poolside read. And then I ruined my whole vacation because I started Spark of the Everclear. And I said, I'm in. I'm hooked. I'm in.
You've
I'm
intrigued me.
here.
You've
You have
intrigued
bewitched me,
me.
body and soul. And I love you, Pen Cole. I was eating it up. I read those books so fast.
So
So
fast.
fast. So good. Just like gobble, gobble, gobble. I'm eating them up. I
And the
haven't
thing is
felt
I
that way
recommend.
since we read ACOTAR. Like since that time, I haven't had a theory brain like that since Sarah J. Maas. Like it was like my brain was churning, things were happening. Some things I was putting together, some things I wasn't. And here's the thing that I appreciate about a book is number one, I don't want to be able to guess everything.
Right.
But number two, I want to be able to guess some things
I want
because
to be right about some things.
I want it to make sense. I want it to
Yeah.
make sense where it's not like that's the craziest plot twist and it doesn't even make sense. You just made that up because
Yeah.
you have a magical world that you control the rules and you made that up and I could never have seen that coming. I want to be able to like look back and be like, "Oh, I can see it coming now." And she just does such a good job. The magic system is so fun and so interesting. It was like such a fun read.
I loved it so much.
Yeah.
And my friend recommended it to me, and she's like, "Hey, you would really like these books, and the 4th book is coming out at the end of July." And I said, "Perfect. I'll crush the 3 books, and then the 4th one will come out, and I'll read it, and that's the end of the series." So like, great. No, Penn decided to cancel the Kindle Unlimited, and you know what? This is my fault. This is my fault.
Actually,
And
yeah.
I will take credit for this because I posted on the story recommending this book and I said, I can't believe publishers let her publish this on Kindle Unlimited and no one picked up this series for traditional publishing. Well, guess what, Nicole? Foot in mouth because she's republishing all of them in traditional and the 4th book no longer has a published date.
It is.
So
Meanwhile, I'm on her Instagram right now. Just I check it religiously
we
every
check
day.
every day to see if she's
Like
posted anything about this
religiously.
book.
I want to die. I need more. So yeah, if anyone wants to read that book, that's a book highly
Please
recommend.
get in our DMs. Get in our DMs
Getting
talking
them.
about Spark of the
Getting
Everflame
them.
because we want to chat. We
We
want to
need to
chat
chat. We
with
need
you
to chat.
about this
And if anyone
series.
knows Pen Cole,
Penn, if you're a fan of ours and you're listening here right now,
at
just
least give me
know
an arc. Anything.
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 Just like
Apparently
in
the first 3 chapters are out. Did you read them?
No, have you?
No, I haven't because I'm just kind of like, is that going to be too much of a tease? Will I?
I
It's
know.
so hard
I'm
when they do
scared.
that. It's like I'll do it once I have a date. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like once you really, because I'm like, if it's going to be in like a year, I'm not reading the first 3 chapters now. That's going to be horrible for my mental health.
Literally. So we'll see. But
I've been
even
reading
like
some books lately.
what book?
Just a
Oh yeah,
few.
tell me about your books.
Just a few books. I want to remember when I started them because I don't think it was just last week.
Yeah,
But
the fact because for you to have read 17 books in the past week that's over, and you said they were about 300 pages. That's over 5,000 pages that you've read. That's
yeah.
an insane amount of pages.
Is there any way for me to see when like with a date that I downloaded a book? Okay. You borrowed this is August 10th. Okay. So thank God. It's been about a month.
A month. Okay.
I've read 17 of these books,
Okay.
which I found out 2 days ago when I went to this woman's website and she has a reading order. So basically, I downloaded this book. I was just, I was in the mood for just a fun little ditty,
Yeah.
I literally just found it. It was like recommended on Kindle Unlimited. It was like a dark college romance. And I was like, okay, I've been in the fantasy world for
Twist
so
my
long that
arm.
I was like, I need like real life. I need to get out of
Yeah.
fantasy for a little bit because everything is the same at this moment, and like I need to be back in normal world.
Yeah.
So I read it. I read book 1 and I was like, that was kind of insane, but like fun enough. And I was like, okay, the whole series is like one of those series that like like characters that you've already met,
Yep.
and that so you can kind of tell. But she does a really good job of like carrying on those storylines kind of in the background of each book. So by
Yeah.
the time you get to like a couple's book, you're like, oh my god, I need to know all those things that have happened. And a lot of
Yeah.
hers, like what happens. Okay, so basically the ones that I started with was the
I was gonna say, have you even named the
I
series yet?
haven't, nope, definitely did not. So all these books are by Rena Kent, and it's the what is it? Legacy of Gods is the
Mm.
first series that I read from her, Legacy of Gods. So the first one is called God of Malice. So they start out like the first book starts out you get like a little prologue whatever, but like there's an event that
Like
happened.
the first one you read or the first one in the
The first
series?
one I read,
Okay.
which is the first one in this series. So she has
Oh, okay.
like I'll get there. So this
Okay.
book, there's like lead up, but then there's this one event that happens, and it's like an initiation for this like exclusive club at this like college, whatever.
It's
Um,
giving it's giving that one book we read. The one for book club. You know which one
Okay,
I'm
it is a
talking about.
little okay, but it is like when I started reading this, I was like, I feel like I'm reading this book again. They're way better than that, but
Okay.
like the storyline is better. But I was like, these people are kind of crazy. But so there's like an initiation, and the girl is there, and like that's where she and the guy like that's kind of where things really like kind of kick off. But then you go through all the other books, and like almost every one of the characters were actually there, but you
Okay.
don't know it, and you don't know how they were there or why they were there or like what happens while they're there, but you are like it's kind of like a fun thing, like a tie that goes through all of them, but they're all like obviously in these like, oh, our parents are all friends and now we are all know each other and we're all getting together, and like kind of people whose parents don't get along or getting together,
Yep.
all those kind of things. So I read this series and I was like, okay, that was fun, and like she does build a good world, and like she does a good job at like making these characters interesting and likable enough that you want to read their
Hmm.
story. So then I go to her website just out of curiosity, and I realize, oh, she has 37 books and they're all set in the same universe. But there's like 6 different series. Some of them are like 2 book series, some of them are like 6 book series, some of them are standalones, but like they all and the ones that I read were the last ones. They're like the
Okay.
last series in this like reading order. So I went back and I started from the beginning, like the first few books, and it's the series that's about like the parents from the books that I read.
Okay.
Which I was like so confused. I was reading these books because the parents kept getting POVs at the very end. And I was like, I don't even know these people. Why do I fucking care what they think about what's going on? And then I was like, oh,
Makes sense
there's
now.
books about them, which is really fun though, because I'm also reading them and I'm like, I know who your kids are going to be later. So I read the parent series and now I'm on like another set of characters in it and I'm going to read them all. And they're pretty good in the way that like I'm intrigued to keep reading about the people in this universe,
Okay.
because she's built up these characters so much on the sides that
Yeah.
I'm like, I do want to know more about this. And she like
Yeah.
weaves them in really nicely. And she doesn't do that thing that I hate where like each character has like the thing. And like they do all like this one girl like plays the cello. And so that's like a big thing. But it's not like the only thing about her.
Yeah.
Which I liked. But like they're insane. Like they are like kind of ridiculous. It's not like an award winning
Yeah.
series of books. Like these books are not literary gold.
Hmm.
Every character is crazier than the last. They're all like psychopaths. Like a bunch of them like have antisocial personality disorders where but like and it just becomes this like normal thing. And I'm like, how do all of these people have this issue? Like
And they're
they're
all hanging
they're
out.
all psychopaths that like end up with these people, and like all of their parents are crazy, and everyone's like grandparents or parents are like murderers or are dead or like are in the mafia or like
Oh, it's
are
definitely giving that book.
it
What was
is
that book
it
called?
was all I can remember is that his name was Riot.
Riot. Yes.
um
Oh, I don't know if I think I returned
Yeah, I
it.
definitely returned that immediately. It was,
Oh, it was a really popular book talk book.
I'm trying to think.
Let me consult the group chat.
I might have it in my Kindle history.
Wasn't Punk 55
No, that's
the
one where
other one?
that's where the one where she's like she spray paints.
Where he lives in the
And
amusement park.
the biggest like crux of action is prom.
And she's like on the swim team.
Yes.
The
No,
book was so bad.
he gives swim
The
lessons.
Ritual.
The
The Ritual.
Ritual.
Yeah, fuck that book.
Yeah, that book was so. This is not. It's kind of as crazy, but like not as insane.
Okay.
Relatively, like each one, I'm like the ones with the kids. I was like, bro, what's going on? Like these kids are
She had to level up.
crazy.
She
These
had to
kids are
level it up
crazy.
for second gen.
Yeah, and then but okay, here's the thing about these kind of books. Is I always like I read them and I'm like, okay, they're smutty, they're fun, but I'm also like, oh my god, these kids are like 17. Like nobody knows how to have sex that well. Like I'm sorry, these boys are like, I'm gonna be the best fuck you've ever had, and I'm like, how?
We remember what it was like to be
I'm
17.
like, you've had sex with what, 3 like preteens? Like, what do you mean?
If that,
Like, how do
please.
you know what you're doing? It's kind of wild, but they're fun books in the sense of like I do love to be like in a universe and like learn about characters that I've read about before. So I'm like enjoying them. They're keeping me hooked. They're all like
Okay, good.
300 pages. So like
Yeah.
I read like a book a day basically.
Yeah.
Like on the weekend I read like I think 2 books on Sunday cuz I wasn't really doing anything and I was like just kind of ripping through them. But they're fun, but I'm just like mostly at this point I'm intrigued to keep reading because I'm like, what else is she going to come up with? Like what crazy childhood trauma can she come up with for this next character? There is trigger warning. Like her trigger warnings are crazy too. Like she's like my books have lots of triggers in them. You need to read through them before you decide to read this
Read
book.
this.
And she's like, but if you don't have any triggers, then avoid this because there will be spoilers.
I
I'm
want to
okay.
know like what dark headspace you have to be in to write these
It's
books.
like literally psychotic. Like it's almost as entertaining to read them to be like, what is she gonna come up with next? Like also there's like people who's like they think they have the same dad and then they actually don't, but then their dads are swapped. Like these 2 people are in love and she finds out that like her dad is his dad, and so they think that they're siblings and they're like, oh my god, we can't be together because we're siblings but we still kind of want to be together, and then come to find out his dad is actually not his dad, her dad is his dad. And so they are just like, okay,
This
swap
is
dads, now we're good.
such
It is I just
a
am like
telenovela. Like it is
it is
prime time,
I'm like
like daytime TV show.
this woman played Mad Libs to get her tropes. Like I'm like what's going on? So anyways, it's Rena Kent and she has like all of these different series that commingle. I mean, I can't say I recommend it as like it's gonna be the best books you ever read, but like if you are in the mood to just kind of like zone out on and just come out of it saying, I live a good life. Comparatively, like
I don't take my life for granted.
like I live a pretty decent life. I highly recommend.
Then you can go read Spark of the Everflame and tell us if you actually like that book.
Yeah.
And if you don't, we don't want to hear it.
We don't want to hear it. Oh my gosh.
I'm dead. I'm dead. All right, maybe we should talk a little bit about Formula One.
We did a
now
little
that we're
beginning,
here,
didn't we?
Yeah, were you excited that Charles won Monza?
Yeah, I really was. I was really excited, but I was also bummed because, of course, he did that the year after I went to
I
Monza.
know.
I was like,
know.
come on. But I'm really happy. I was really happy for him. The race went really well. I
think.
felt like,
Do you think McLaren's gonna like fuck it up and they're not gonna win the championship because they can't get Oscar and Lando to play nicely together?
it's such an interesting dynamic there. I don't
Yeah.
think that they were ever prepared to have 2 really good drivers. And I don't
No.
think they knew what they were doing because, but also at any given moment, both of their drivers are doing really well. Like,
Yeah.
it's, like, so hard to be like, obviously, Lando should be the number one driver. He has more experience, but, like, Oscar's doing really well, but sometimes Lando's doing really, like, better. And, like, it doesn't it's really hard. I don't know, because some people are like, "Oh, justice for Lando." Like, Oscar should swap with Lando because Lando needs points for the
Hmm.
championship. But other people are like, "Okay, but Oscar's doing way better and he's like has better time than Lando, so like he can
Yeah.
stay ahead." I don't know, it's like so tough to decide. I think that if Lando was closer in the championship,
Yeah.
at this point I'm like I still don't necessarily think that he's going to beat Max, because even though Max hasn't been winning, he's still getting points, and so he's
Yeah.
still adding to his
I don't even
total
want to know
points.
what I don't even want to know what the score is for our draft that we did at the beginning of the year, because my team is trash.
Well, luckily we never even came up with a
We
punishment.
started and I said, "Thank God I have Max because he's my only saving grace for the rest of these fucking losers, and I have no one from the midfield now. You have everyone."
Yeah,
So, tough look for Nicole's team. Tough look.
tough luck. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like McLaren is maybe gonna fuck it up, but I think that they really need to come. I feel like they just need to sit down with their drivers and come up with kind of a rule book. Like, I feel
Yeah.
like they need to come up with like internal rules of like, okay, if you guys are within X number of seconds lap times
Mhm.
of each other, we're not going to do team orders.
Mhm.
But if one person has like, you know, 2 seconds on the other person, we're going to swap your positions.
Yeah.
Like, they need to have more rules so it's not as like arbitrary or like up for debate when it's like heat of the moment.
Yeah.
And have everyone kind of like agree on it. Like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. That's what we'll do. And then hopefully that will avoid too many more like,
They need to just take a blood oath. Okay? They need to take a blood oath that they're going to be nice to each other, sit around a campfire, sing kumbaya. Okay? It's so funny. People are like, man, y'all would have hated the era of Jensen Button or Mark Webber and Sebastian Vettel, or like
yeah.
James Hunt and Nikki Lauda. Like, you guys would have hated the way that they treated each other if this is how you guys are acting when Lando and Oscar are fighting with each other. And I'm like, it's so true. We've become so fucking soft.
Truly.
You and I advocate for them fighting all the time.
I'm like, these are athletes. They're in their peak performance and they are passionate and they are like on so much adrenaline. Obviously, they're going to be upset. Like, everyone gets so
So
mad
pressed.
when these drivers like have an opinion and are like a
And
little
they're
bit
like, oh,
selfish.
they're not playing by the rules.
Or like,
Okay,
oh,
well,
they're not being a team player. They're not being sportsman like. Like, fuck off. They're like, not everyone gets a medal.
so I'm just kind of like, but it will be funny if McLaren really, as I said a couple episodes ago, screws the pooch.
Where's the pooch?
Because it will be funny. No offense to any
Yeah.
McLaren fans out there. I'm sorry. But it'll be funny. I'm also I posted this on the story that I think it was during the Monza race actually. I don't remember when it was, that we would be saying bye to Danny.
Mm-hmm.
And people are
You
like,
did watch
"No,
that race.
I did. I watched. Yeah, you're right. I did watch one of them. I cannot remember. You know what? It was Monza because I was here in the city, and I posted on the story. I said we're probably gonna have to say bye to Danny at the end of the season, but people are like pretty convinced that he's staying. So I just really would like to know what the AlphaTauri angle is after this, or V Carb angle is after this, if they're keeping Danny, because like no offense, he's not very good.
And like, who was it? I think Helmut Marko said Liam Lawson will be in one of our cars next year.
Yeah. But people are
So
like, no, Danny's gonna stay, Danny's gonna stay. And I'm like, I don't I don't believe that to be true, but I guess we'll see.
I don't even think Danny wants to be there anymore.
I don't either. He needs to go do something else.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with a pivot.
There's nothing wrong with a pivot.
There's nothing wrong with a pivot.
Danny, you decided to do this when you were what, 3 years old? You're not the same person as you were then.
Go try something
You're
new.
not even
Go
the
try
same
something
person as when
fun.
you entered Formula One. And it's okay to grow and change and like want to do other things. That is okay. In
And
life,
that's okay.
that's fine.
From God's lips to your ears.
Amen.
It's okay.
So
So
I'm
I
intrigued.
just, Danny should go be a professional wag for Josh Allen,
Yeah,
and he should just have some fun, in my personal
I
opinion.
agree with that. I think he needs to have some fun. For sure.
Speaking of fun, Adrian Newey being at Aston Martin, do you think we'll see the day where Lance Stroll wins a world championship?
Speaking of fun,
Speaking of God's lips to your ears.
that would be the most insane thing. I mean, honestly,
You know what? For the bit, I'd love for it to
me
happen.
too.
For the bit, people would be so mad. People would be so pressed. And I think, as two people who love to take a bit to completion, take a bit too far, Lawrence Stroll buying an F1 team so his son could win a world championship and having him do it with Adrian Newey at the helm would be simply
Iconic.
iconic. It would be so funny,
It would
and
be.
I want to shake his hand
That would be the
when
kind
that
of drama
happens.
that I'm like just so invested in.
Like, I need to see Lance Stroll the season. Is he starting next season or the
What?
season after?
Next.
Newey.
I don't know actually.
Like, just day one, we see the first race, and Lance is just fucking coasting.
I think that would be fucking
It
hysterical.
would be
I hope
hysterical.
so.
And you know what? As someone who loves a little bit of chaos, bring it on.
100%. You want to? Can we talk about chaos? News that just dropped today. Not F1. Dave Grohl.
Oh, Dave Grohl.
Got to talk about it.
Dave
We're
Grohl,
ping
what are we
ponging here.
doing?
We're ping ponging here. F1, non F1, F1, non F1. Dave Grohl fathering a child out of his marriage as the ultimate nice guy of rock and roll.
Yeah, devastating.
Devastating. I feel sick. Like he is the ultimate wife guy, dad guy. Like I feel
Yeah.
sick about it.
And you know what? All men do is lie.
All men fucking do is lie, huh?
All they do is
Ugh.
lie.
I feel so heartbroken. He's got girls, teenagers. I was talking to Lily about it, and she was like, "I hope his wife and kids like gave him hell for that." And I said, "Girl, he's got teen girls. They ripped him a new one. There's
Yeah.
no doubt in my mind he's living through the worst circle of hell at the moment,
Yeah.
and deserved. The one tiny saving grace, and this isn't even a saving grace. However, I did appreciate that he addressed it, even
Mm-hmm.
and like but like admitted to it, addressed it, and said that he was gonna like be a good parent to this
Mm-hmm.
child,
To this
which
thing. I
like
thought that's what you were gonna
no,
say.
I was gonna say baby, but then I said child. I because it's horrible. It's not a situation that should happen ever, and I hate when this happens. But I feel like too often from famous people and celebrities we see this happen, and it's like 4 years later, and or they're like trying to bury it and they're not trying to say anything and they're denying it
The
happened.
whole Drake
Yeah,
situation. Drake and what's his
they're
name?
denying it happens. They're demanding a paternity test. They're like trying to say like it wasn't me, it wasn't me, it wasn't me. And when it's like everyone's like, okay, it is you. Like those kids are who I feel the worst for because
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna grow up and see that and be like, oh, my dad didn't even like
Mm-hmm.
want to admit that I was
Yeah.
it. Like, so I'm like, the only thing that I can think of here that is like slightly positive is that he admitted to it, owned up to it, and said he wanted to be like a present father to this
Do you
child.
think anyone else is gonna come out of the woodwork after this?
No, I can't handle that.
Like, do you think it's gonna be a whole thing?
The only thing that I was thinking of is like, so I listened to his memoir, on audiobook, and it was really good. And I was like, love Dave Grohl. I'm gonna listen to his audiobook because I love him. Jokes on me, but It was a good audiobook. The one weird thing about it was like the first chapter, I think, was like basically like an ode to his like first girlfriend in like middle school. And he was like, she's the first person that I ever like thought that I loved. And like it was this whole thing about like how he never like had the courage to like really like tell her how he felt, and they went out, but then it didn't work. And then years later, she ended up like coming to a show of his, and like they hung out, and he was just like,
It's giving he was a skater boy. She
"He's a
said, "See you
skater
later,
boy."
boy."
Yeah, and it was like he was like, "Oh," and then like I was still like nervous to see her, and it's just like it was like this. I don't know. It was like some poetic thing. But that was like the very beginning of the book, and so I'm reading that, and I'm like, "Oh my god, this is gonna end up being his wife." How? What a cute story. Wasn't. Um, and then he talks about his first marriage and like how I think they talked about how they met, and they were married, and then obviously he talked about how like that didn't like go well. Um, and then I'm listening and I'm like waiting for him to like tell the story about how he met like his current wife. Never talked about it. She just like randomly popped up in the story at one point, or he was like, "Oh yeah," and then my wife like had our first daughter, and I was like, "Whoa!" Skipped over the part where you met, dated, and got married. Like it was just like so bizarre because I was like, okay, so you have your first girlfriend has like a full chapter. Your first wife that you ended up getting divorced, it was a bad marriage, got like all of this playtime. And
Yeah.
then his wife is just like barely mentioned. She just like is like sometimes pops up in stories about like, oh yeah, and then my wife invited Paul McCartney and his wife over and stuff, and I'm like, and then but it's the whole thing is like like a love letter to his kids, but it was just so bizarre. So like I don't know,
Interesting.
and that kind of like when I was reading it, I was like, that's kind of weird. And then as this news came out today, I was like, that feels really weird now.
Hate that.
Yeah, so I don't know,
Hate that.
feeling very upset about it because
You know what I'm feeling upset about?
tell me,
I'm feeling upset about Williams and Logan
yeah,
because I don't understand, right? Like I don't think that Franco is going to do any better than Logan.
no,
And I guess that's something to be seen, right? I
yeah.
can eat my words. I've said a lot of wrong things in the past couple of months about this season
And you want to know
already.
what? It's growth of you to admit that.
That's, you know what? I'm often wrong. And we've never claimed that this is a news podcast that you should be getting your factual news from us because we just run our mouths. Anyway, I'm just like, why did they do that to him? Like they desperately needed an influx of cash. It's because they signed Carlos. They said actually Carlos his check needs to be written right now. And so we have to bring in someone who can fund Williams
Immediately,
more
yeah,
than the Logan Sargeant family is.
100%.
Um his his note when he was like, "Mom, Dad, I'm like," and his brother, he's like, "I'm coming home." I was like, I'm devastated by this, actually. Devastated. So, James Vowles, you can catch these hands.
James Vowles, you really were in the running for a favorite person.
After he sat there, looked us in the eyes this at fucking launch day in February and said, we're putting our full faith and backing behind Logan
Because
this
we
season
agree that
because we
rookies
agree.
need more than one season to prove themselves.
Once again, circling back, all men do
It's a
is lie.
lie.
That's all they do.
It's
They will look you
yeah.
dead in your eyes and lie to you. So that's bitching hour today. I know we're not doing segments anymore, but fucking bitching hour is about Williams treating Logan like shit. Do I think he was the best driver on the grid? Absolutely the fuck not. But do I think he deserved to be treated that way? No. And I know we were just talking about people going soft and being bitching and moaning on the internet about the behavior and treatment of drivers, but like I just don't think that it served any real purpose.
I'll just be in the kitchen serving up some moaning and bitching, as Sabrina would say.
Full circle moment. There we go. We
We're
just
always bringing it back.
the threads are always being tied. So I just am like, I don't this Franco guy, I guess apparently he's like been kind of cheeky to the press in like a fun way. So I haven't seen any of that. I just asked ChatGPT to give me some fun facts about him. It did not provide me with anything. of note. He cares about his physical fitness, I guess. ChatGPT's really been letting me down. He actively engages with fans through social media, sharing insights into his life, training routines, and racing updates. This helps build a connection with his audience and provides a glimpse into his personality outside of racing. Okay, well, I wanted you to tell me what his personality was outside of racing without me having to go look at his Instagram.
ChatGPT, get fucked.
ChatGPT can catch these hands as well. ChatGPT is a man because all they do is lie. Anyway, I will be watching. I will have we'll be watching this weekend, Singapore.
What's that all about?
Oh, it's not Singapore, it's Azerbaijan. Why did I think it was Singapore? Is that next weekend?
I don't know.
Yeah, it is.
Azerbaijan.
So we've got Baku this
Baku.
weekend, which is great. So he didn't do well last week. But let's see how he does this week.
Let's see.
And then I'll be the judge. I'll maybe judge him.
Nicole's gonna be judge, jury, and executioner for Franco next week. Stay tuned. Stay fucking tuned.
So I'll have a better opinion on him next week, but until now, I wanted to bitch about their treatment of Logan. And that's all she wrote.
I love when you make up.
And you know what?
I love when you just make them up.
I'm not making up anything.
You said until now. I'll be talking about him.
Okay. I'll play run the clip. You know what I was thinking about? Why we have been kind of down and out lately?
Why?
It's because we haven't manifested for ourselves in a while.
What are we manifesting? What do you want to manifest for us? Sorry, my boob is so itchy. I keep itching it if anyone's watching. I'm so sorry. So itchy.
Actually, we submitted our credential application for the Las Vegas Grand Prix today.
Of which we will be at, by the way.
We will be at the Las Vegas Grand Prix. More on that soon. But I think you and I need to really manifest that we're going to be accepted for that.
Okay.
Yeah. Great. Okay, so if you could close your eyes with me. Take a deep breath in. A deep breath out. And let's really lock in on this one, okay?
Okay.
So in just 2 months' time, we will be flying into Las Vegas, ready to party with the best of them.
It's me, Mrs. Iglesias.
And you know what? We first stop when we land in Las Vegas International Airport to the Credential Center because you girls will be getting credentials for the Las Vegas Grand Prix. We simply can't go back to not being in the paddock. What if some insane thing happens again? Who has to be there? Who has to be there to see it through the end?
We really do.
No one else stayed. No one else
Not
stayed.
A single other person.
What's that? It's like the Travis Kelce holding up the sign. We stayed. And who else is going to be there except for us? And so the Las Vegas Grand Prix, they know this. They know the commitment we have to creating good content in tough times. So they're going to stamp approved our paperwork, and you girls are going to have some fun in Vegas. So just imagine
we're gonna go back and sling some espresso martinis in the paddock.
We actually know how to play blackjack now. It's gonna be phenomenal. We're gonna make a run for everyone's money, fake money in the paddock. Okay?
I will be drinking 59 espresso martinis in that little casino.
At least.
So good.
So take a deep breath in, deep breath out, and let's really seal those intentions.
Here's the thing. I am going to add one caveat to this.
Okay.
An asterisk. I'm manifesting that we get credentials and we are there as long as the rules aren't crazy.
Yeah.
I won't be going if they're going to censor me.
I don't have a manager. I can't be managed.
Brittany's like, okay.
Brittany.
Cool.
So
Brittany's like,
just
wow,
saying.
I just found out I was fired.
Brittany, I take it back. You're the only one who can manage us. Anyway, we'll be there. Whether we're credentialed or not, we will be, because you all manifested it. Move into this week believing in your hopes and dreams and your wildest dreams.
Yeah.
Do something that's going to set yourself up for future success.
Mm-hmm.
Sending an email, asking for a promotion.
Just freaking send an email.
The answer is no if you don't ask. Send an email to someone, anyone. What do you want? Ask for it. We used to shoot our shot a lot. You know that.
I know.
We have not lately. And so this is us shooting our shot. We're asking and we're saying, credentials, please.
To the universe.
To the universe. And so, guys, this has been another incredible episode of the TG1F pod.
It's really been something. That's for sure. It's been
whatever you wanted it to be.
And I had fun.
I had a great time.
It was great catching up with you, Nicole.
I know. It's been forever.
Next week.
I'll talk to you next week. But until then.
I'll see you on the internet.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode of TG1F, an F1 podcast with Kate and Nicole.
If you like what you heard, don't miss out on the fun between episodes.
Keep up with the chaos on Instagram at 2girls1formula. That's spelled out TWO girls numerical 1 formula.
And check out our website, 2girls1formula.com, to shop cute fan-made F1 merch.
See you next week.
But like we said, in the meantime, we'll see you on the internet.